Hey, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10 p.m. 10:05 p.m. I don't know what I was saying there. I think I was having a stroke. It's 10:05 p.m. Eastern. The Muncie City Council meeting just got out, and boy, was it a long one. We're going to be joined by Audie Barber here in just 1 second. Holy crap. New phone. Who dis? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are on a new feed. It generally happens. I normally won't go live from the same feed from the council meeting. I just like to keep everything separate. You know how I do. I think I have OCD, but it is what it is. I know I have OCD. But, okay, we've got a couple things that we're going to talk about this evening. So we're going to try to go through it in pretty quick order. And I'm not going to keep you guys here long. This won't be as long as a normal show because we've been late. If you can, do the thing that you need to do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment if you're watching live, comment if you're watching and repeat. We will get back with you either way. But more importantly, share the show with everyone you know. Letting you know this episode is episode 154 of the Political Spotlight. I, of course, am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and this episode is called Hello, Muncie, We Still See You. Or you could put in like Delaware County or Winchester. Basically, I'm just trying to tell people that just because we've been doing 2 months of election coverage, I am still definitely following what goes on in the day-to-day world of city government, town government, county government, state government, what's going on. We're still watching, obviously, what goes on nationally. Man, one day, I tell you, Delaware County, here's the thing. If this election doesn't make changes that we need to make, I feel like this is the big year. If we don't make some big changes in a lot of different elections, if Henry County screws up, if Madison County screws up, if Randolph County, well, it sounds like Randolph County's already lost.
Randolph County screws up, I promise.
Yeah, it's already lost.
Nothing changes here.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. I was going to say they're already lost cause. If that happens, I think I've convinced myself that we're just going all national all the time. And I'm just going to say to hell with it. And then that's when we'll pick up. We'll lose all of you, but we'll pick up the millions and millions of people that will be watching. And that will be our key to the millions. I hate it, and it's sad, but that's why we've got to do better at these local elections, because they're really beating me down, folks. All right, hey, before we get started, I do want to put this out there for some of you are going to love it, some of you are going to hate it. For the people that I'm going to be pushing in one way or another, I just want to let you guys know this. This is out there Friday, March 15th, 7 to 9 at the Carolina Room above Clancy's Village Bowl. Reelect Ryan Webb for County Council. Chili Cook-Off. Event sponsors $100. Table sponsors $25. Chili entry fee $25. Paid for by friends to elect Ryan Webb. $10 for admission, $5 for a kid. That thing will get you in. I guess you could just print it off and go in. I don't know. See if that happens. I don't know what goes on, but there's that. If you want more information, contact that gentleman there. Okay, we're going to bring this person on. Here we go. Bing. How you doing?
Good evening.
Everybody said that you looked really tired.
Oh, hey. After being off for 3 months and going back to work and working 60 hours plus a week,
yeah,
it takes a toll out of an old man.
Kicking your ass?
Kicking my ass.
You looked really tired.
And I'm doing a lot of work. I'm not just sitting around.
Right.
So, and it's critical. I'm setting steel in a building in the Samsung battery plant in Cocoa. So we're setting steel for an overhead crane. So it's 40, 80 foot tall. So it's some fun stuff.
That's
and I got guys right there by where I'm setting it, and I got to stand these beams up 40 feet, these steel beams, and set them right on them 4 nuts down there on the ground so they can bolt them in. It's pretty tough.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Challenging.
Well, Sounds like you're doing some crazy work. I got to get into a comment you made here in a minute, but before I want to get back to this Charlize comment. Charlize says she wants to move to Winchester, run for mayor. If you do that, I'll do whatever I can to help you. We'll run your campaign. It'll be fantastic. I'll move back to Winchester and help you, Charlize. I'm ready. Let's get it done. That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Okay, now to move on. No, you cannot vote for Audie and Ryan on the same ticket because why can't they vote for you?
Because I'm not running.
He's not on the ballot. He's not running this time. He was running last year and he lost in the November ballot. So a November election. So he's off the ballot for a couple of years. He'll probably run again in 4 years for district. Maybe district run. I don't know. We'll see. It
just depends on how big of idiots these people are on council.
Dude, let me tell you, they have got it. It's hard to get through a full council meeting. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard to watch what's going on, man. I am telling you, it is very hard to watch what they're doing.
Well, you should have seen Selvey whenever I stepped to the podium. She rolled them damn eyes. And
why? What is her problem all of a sudden?
She's just being rogue.
She won her race, and now she thinks that she's just got everything always at all times. She can do whatever she wants. Ro needs to remember where she came from.
Money ain't no big deal.
Yeah, let's do whatever. Dude, what kind of, does somebody need to remind her that she is supposed to be a conservative?
Yes, she's not.
No, she's not.
No, I don't even think her ex-husband is.
I don't know. It's very gross what's going on with Rose.
But anyhow,
Rose really crazy. Real quick before we get started,
okay.
Because you said it and I thought, oh shit, that's gonna get him. That's gonna get him some big shit. But yeah. So
it happens.
Listen, here's the deal. I mean, listen, you're not like knocking low income people.
Not at all.
I've
been there.
Everybody knows what you're referring to. There's not a problem with an elderly person. There's not a problem with low income. But when you have the government running programs like that, and you have people that run programs, there is a section of the society that takes advantage of those programs and that do things like that. And they're doing it specifically so they can get in and ride the system and do things. And it brings they have to be watchful for that. That is something that people need to be mindful of.
But Chris, there was a comment made that these are for single moms and low entry-level police officers will be able to afford them and for people like that and school teachers and stuff. And then they go on to say that they also have programs to help these people get better jobs. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, because when she said entry-level police officer, I was like, an entry-level police officer from where? Lynn, where they're making like $20, like $20,000 a year? Because hell, I mean, some of these police officers are not entry level. Like some of these, police officers are making $75,000, $80,000 a year.
But what would an entry level policeman in Muncie make?
55, 60,000.
60,000.
They just got that.
And that's low income housing is what they're calling it?
Yeah. No, there's no way in hell that's what they're talking about.
No, because they said between 24 and 42,000.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That's a good point there, Kate. Are they talking about true low income housing, or are they talking about $60,000 low income housing?
Yes.
What are we actually talking about?
Yep.
Or did she just not know what police officers make? I'm just real confused at
Now,
what she was getting at there.
Now, if you'd said low income or low entry housing for street department people,
Yeah.
then you could fill the whole place up with every member of the street department.
Right. And I just feel like, man, I'm hearing some bad things. I'm hearing that they are literally wanting to do away with their union.
The city is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
the administration.
This administration. That's what I told people 3 years. That's what I told people 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The county.
They won't. Go ahead.
The county commissioners did it to the sheriff's department. They done it to the highway department.
Here's the thing.
To the street department.
You won't see them pull that shit with police and fire.
No.
Because the mayor needs the police and fire, and the police and fire won't play that game. But they think that AFSCME is a lesser breed. You really want to talk about someone getting upset and people being mad. They need to not be mad at you about your just off the cuff comment there. They need to be mad about how the mayor looks at those people in AFSCME. They look at them as a lower breed of people than the police and fire unions, because, you know, they know that they need their votes, and they know that, you know, they can push the people around. I hope the AFSCME people show up and they stick it to them, because what Ridenour's doing is gross.
He's trying to break their union. I've said that for 4 years now. People's not listening to me. It's happening. Just like the lit tax. Guess what? It was talked about a lot tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah. They did bring that up, and Ryan, did you hear that? They were talking about lit, man. I don't know if you watched the council meeting or not, but they were definitely talking about that. Ryan says it's not low income housing, it's affordable housing. There is a big difference, and there is a big difference on that.
Yeah, because that means the low income housing, the people that really need housing right now, is not going to get any.
Aren't going to get it, yeah.
We've got all these houses that they built. How many of them's been filled? There's, you know, I drive by several of them each day, and they look empty.
They look empty, man. They keep talking about those apartments out there in the old marsh across from Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
And those apartments do not look full. I'll drive by there tomorrow and I'll double check just to let people know. They do not look full. I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe these people, you know, don't have cars. Maybe they're walking everywhere or something, or riding bikes, and they store their bikes inside their houses where they don't have blinds in the windows. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the windows are dark and they don't turn lights on. Maybe it's those kind of people that live in there. I don't know.
I invite you to go inside the hallways.
Let's do it. I want to do it. And knock on the doors.
I deliver groceries.
Oh, yes.
And
you do that.
And the stench of marijuana in that place, in the hallways.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I love it.
Is that not illegal still? I know they're trying to.
Come on, are you for real?
But it's still against the law.
Oh, God.
Me driving my truck down the road without a seatbelt is against the law.
Yeah.
So, you know.
The splash pad in Haltman's always full, even in March. I saw that comment today. Hilarious.
So anyhow, you know.
Well,
they did bring up a bunch of stuff about the bot. Now they're wanting to get bonds with it and use edit money and the 104.
Yeah, they're saying all kinds of weird things. And I want to say, for the record, and I know that there's someone that's going to get mad at this. They're going to get mad about this when I say this. And she's not watching, I don't think. She's probably asleep. So, but Audie said it, and I'm going to say it here. I'm going to double it. Nora Powell was doing good today. What Nora did was good. And listen, Nora, I have never, ever, ever claimed that Nora is dumb. She's not dumb. She is intelligent. That's what makes her so scary.
That's right.
And she can do good and she can do bad. And there are things that I do agree with her on. Absolutely. You know, she's scary. But I will absolutely say that Nora and Sarah. Sarah did well. Sarah did well today. And they gave her a bunch of crap for it, but Sarah did well.
Yep.
And
Harold Mason went with her.
Harold Mason, and I think that Dale Basham went too. It looked like he was in one of those pictures, but no one ever brought him up. So I will give credit where credit's due. If Dale went with them, good on those three people. If he didn't, then I take that back and to hell with him.
I think Sarah would have said that.
It looked like I saw him in one of those pictures. I'm telling you, it looked like he was in one of those pictures. I swear. I swear it was real wild. Because I thought, because when you went up there and you said it, I was like, wait a minute, why didn't they say anything about Harold being up there, or about Dale going?
Yeah.
So that was really strange. But man, I tell you, these council meetings where there's two agendas, dude, I've been to council meetings before where the city of Muncie has had like 7 or 8 or 9 ordinances on just the new ordinances, and then they've had like 10 or 15 in the old ordinances and 5 or 6 resolutions. That council meeting would be still going on, and it would be going till 3:00 in the morning.
Yes.
They have got to do something about keeping people on track and rolling shit through. We cannot have 3-hour-long council meetings with 2 things on the agenda.
When the mayor gets up there and reads somebody else's report he's said it 4 or 5 times.
There's nothing new there.
Maybe over half of these people received money from the fire department. Maybe they should abstain from the vote because maybe a conflict of interest because they received money for their campaign.
Yeah. So we're going to
draw the line. We're buying. That's what I was told. We're giving this money to these people because we want them to remember us on the fire stations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They absolutely said that. And I know that a lot of people you take issue with Wayne Skate for things. I like Wayne on a lot of what Wayne says. I like him. I agree with him on. I gotta say, I like that he put Roe in her place, because Roe gets up and Roe constantly tries to make this a racial issue.
Right.
And Roe says, yeah, it doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Roe's like, we don't love our people out there. And Wayne got up there and said, hey, don't be roping us into this.
Right.
Okay, hold on. I want to play
one, but they do have cubbies because they are set up for also, both genders.
And they said, oh, no, that's not both genders. How would somebody that's not up there know? If they're talking to the firemen, it's either set up for both genders or it's not.
They're cubbies.
Well, she said clearly in there that they've got a separate area for the women to sleep.
Yes, she did say that. So to me, that sounds like it's set up for both genders.
This is the women's shower bathroom area,
but not neutral.
Locker room.
Oh,
this
okay.
is a sleeping area off of the side of one of the offices. There are 2 officers' offices.
Let's see, it's coming up right here. And I think I realized what I did.
This kind of shows.
I think you're right. I don't think Dale went. I think it was just the 2 of them.
This shows some storage.
She was going through this real quickly. And I'll show you what I thought.
You start to see this is where they have this when we're talking about trying to keep the carcinogens out of the residence area.
Yes.
This is off the bay, which is you have like an airlock area that you go from the residence into the bay. This is the other side of the bay. This is also
on the dock of the bay
that they have outside in the bay if you want to shower before you can get into the. So you see where it's all open. So I'm not going to go through everything, explain all of this.
Here it goes. Oh, right there, that picture. That picture back there, because she was going through it so quickly. I thought that picture was
one of their cubbies.
I thought that picture back
This
there
shows a
was
locker room.
what's his
This
name?
shows
Dale.
I just want you to see.
Yeah, right
this
there.
does
But
have
it was Harold. So okay, I take that back. To hell with you, Dale. I mean, not really. I don't care. He's good. Here's the thing. I think that it was good on those two for going up there. And I think that was a good job. And then how easily they're turned, they're talked down upon.
The thing I've got a problem with at the council meeting is a councilman that says, "Oh, I talk to these people. I talk to these people. I talk to these people." I call bullshit on that. He's always praising everybody, and it's just,
Who are you talking to?
who am I talking to? I'm
Who are you
talking
talking about?
Who am I talking about?
Yeah.
Who's always patting everybody on the back, and he's always talking to people in his district, and this person said this, and this.
I don't know. All of them say that.
Brandon Garrett.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
He's. I don't know. I
don't know what's going on. But and he was in the thick of it. So let's watch this. Everyone's talking about the meltdown. So let's watch this and watch what happens. So I'm glad you got up and you said what happened. I don't know what kind of nonsense that Roe and this guy and whoever he had going on. Okay. I don't know what they got going on. I agree with Frank. This council is wildly unprepared. The meetings are crazy. Did you hear Roe and Nora about get into it at the beginning of the meeting?
Yep.
Roe has to stop just blurting out. Jerry needs to get her ass in line.
Jerry's trying to.
He needs to not have, Nora shouldn't have to say Jerry, because then that just adds to the chaos. Well, when Nora's talking and Roe just kind of overtalks her, someone needs to call point of order and shut that crazy shit down.
Jerry needs to turn his microphone up or get it a little closer to his mouth and reach down and feel between his legs and make it go there.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Now,
speak up a little bit.
Webb says they've been giving Frank the runaround for a year. So, I don't know, and I'll reach out and talk to him, and he might be watching this. And listen, I don't know what's going on here. I know that this was on the agenda back in October or November.
September.
And they tabled it and said, nobody's here.
Right.
And Roe said, let me go in contact, because she said, Mr. President, is this something that I can go and like, Roe, why do you not know that? Yes, you're an elected city councilwoman. You can do whatever you want to do. Go out and tell this guy to come to the next meeting. So then she's like, and then the next meeting, nothing happened. Okay. Nothing happened.
Because he wasn't there.
Right.
To come forward.
Right.
There.
And so maybe he came and left, or he thought it was on a Tuesday. The bottom line, again, we need to find out if he dropped the ball, then to hell with him. If this council dropped the ball, then we need to find out what's going on there. But this guy gets up there, and again, everybody act all crazy like nobody knew what anyone was talking about.
Who's them two people behind me?
The two people behind you, one of them is Stephen Brand.
Okay, is that other one Aaron Clark?
No, the other one is Jeff Howe. He is the new. Does everybody know this? Does everybody know that? Does everybody know that Dan gave up his economic development director position? Did you know that?
Who?
Dan Ridenour is no longer the economic development director in Muncie.
Really? So
the guy sitting behind you. What?
So now he's paying somebody to do it.
Yeah, out of edit. So here's what we talked about this a while back, but I think you were in your hiatus. So listen to this in case you didn't know this. So City Council did not put Isaac Miller back on the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. They put Zane Bishop and Andrew Dale. Okay. So off the Economic Development Commission came Lorraine Tomlin and Isaac Miller. So Dan was then able. Okay, so then now Dan needs a spot to put Isaac Miller. So what does Dan do? Dan pulls Jeff Howell off of the MRC, and he makes him economic development director. So the old president of the MRC is now the economic development director. He's the guy sitting behind you, Jeff Howell. And then he puts Isaac on in his position. Okay. So now Isaac's back on the MRC. And the Andrew Dale and Zane Bishop. And it's gonna be interesting because they're gonna throw a haywire into a lot of the mayor's plans just by slowing shit down. So it's gonna be fun to watch. But that guy behind you is the new he's the new economic development director.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Okay.
So let's see this. Several council members have been telling them conflicting information for a year. I know this because I have been made aware of the conversations immediately after they've happened. That's Delaware County Councilor Ryan Webb saying this about this deal. So, okay, so that's interesting. And also what this guy is playing with is we're in the middle of two different councils, so that's a little bit of chaos as well. And the other thing is Roe has been involved with it. So
right. That's the problem.
So here's
years ago.
Anybody that wants to watch the full council meeting, I honestly can't sit through it any longer and go through much. We can play little clips of it, but this meeting, it's like a tumor.
Fixed our place up real nice. And then somebody else bought the rest of it. And anyway, last year we bought part of that property from them. That big, long, I don't know if you've seen that big, long silver building.
So I'm just going to be honest. This guy seemed kind of like flaky. Okay. And he's wanting an economic development. He's wanting a tax abatement. And so the council, what?
I want a tax abatement on my property.
No shit. So normally when you get a tax abatement, you're like bringing in housing, and it's going to be property. You're going to put, property taxes are going to go into it, or you're going to create jobs for, income tax, and it's going to be doing something. Yeah. This guy's already got a business and he has a property, and he's like, well, I was going to sell it, but it fell through. And they're like, so you're not going to create any jobs? And he's like, no, I'm not going to create any jobs. And they're like, so you're not going to create any jobs? He's like, oh yeah. Well, I'm going to create jobs. Yeah. I'm going to put people in place. And I just laid off 3 people, and my guys get paid $20 an hour. Well, one of them gets paid $30 an hour. So it's just kind of seemed like really flaky and unprepared for something that's been in the works for a year. Like I would have been like, hey, what's going on? What's happening here? Webb says Roe, Brandon, Aaron Clark, and even Troy at one point, according to Frank, they have redeveloped several properties in Muncie without an abatement. Okay, so if that's the truth, and I have no reason to not believe what they're saying, because I think that this would happen. That's not true. Tax abatements are used as tools to encourage business to redevelop existing properties. These are the most common abatements. Okay, no, that's fair. Okay, that what you're saying is fair, and I'm okay with that. I guess what I'm saying here is, it just, to be fair, yes, what Charlie's just said. Yeah, I'd like a 10-year abatement, but all right, 5, okay.
5 years, okay.
He just seemed very, very flaky.
Yes.
And maybe that's because he's running 2 or 3 different businesses and his mind isn't here, and he thought this was a done deal. Because what was interesting was he kept saying, I thought this was all done. So now, again, I'm giving this guy a little bit of shit. But when it comes back that the council's dropped the ball, I'll take all that back. I'll apologize to this guy.
But the council didn't drop the ball because it was on the agenda and he never showed up. So they tabled it and said they would get back with him, have him come in. And he's tried 2 or 3 or 4 months in a row to make him in there. And he finally made it in there tonight.
Right. That being said, it's listen, I'll put it to you like this. We used to have this saying at my dad's shop. We would, when anytime something would screw up, they'd be like, what happened? And we'd be like, we let our idiot talk to their idiot.
Right.
And it's kind of like, Yeah, all right. Maybe it's because Rose Selvey was talking to this guy, and maybe this guy's a really good guy. Maybe he's a really good boss. Maybe he does a lot of good, but maybe he's just not into all this stuff, and maybe he is a little flaky.
And Chris,
then we're dealing with Roe, and so all this crazy shit happened.
Here's an issue. When was that property annexed to the city?
What?
Marhofers used to be in the county. Even though it was in the city limits,
right.
It was county property. Because in the city of Muncie, you cannot have a slaughterhouse and you cannot have hooved animals.
Right.
And so on and so forth. In other words, you can't have pigs in the city limits.
Right.
Has this ever been annexed into the city?
Yeah.
That is the question that needs to be asked.
That would be good to know. Yeah. And I'm sure it probably happened at some point.
I think at one time there used to be a map I seen not too long ago, maybe in the last 25 years. I know not too long ago, but that's
right.
But it actually showed that the old Marhof
was in the county. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that too. That would be good to know. I mean, it would be good to see that, just to know when that happened. That would be interesting.
Because I don't know that if that is still in the county, if it has never been annexed, then that the city council can actually give him a tax abatement.
Well, absolutely. If it's city property, the county can't do it.
But if it's county property, the city can't do it.
Right. Yeah. So you're absolutely right.
Charlize, I didn't say that.
Audie said a whole bunch of other crap tonight.
That's got a whole bunch of
been crazy.
Piss people off, but I don't care.
Webb said, I think he might have been listening to what Frank was telling him, and there was a misunderstanding. Frank probably told him everything was good to go. Right. And I don't think that's dogging out Frank, or that's necessarily. I'm not even dogging this guy out. I'm saying that there was probably the ball was dropped, and it just, I don't know what happened. But now, I will also.
He's got to go to the planning commission now.
Yes.
And get approval. And then bring it back to the council next month.
Yeah. Not planning commission.
He drops the ball. And I think that may be what happened last time. I don't think he took it to the planning commission.
Not planning commission. Or you mean the tax abatement?
Tax abatement. Yes.
Not planning commission.
I'm sorry. The tax abatement commission. I don't think.
Here's the real question for you. Jesus. But
only if the shoe fits.
Oh, Jesus. So my shoe don't fit. I gotta get some new ones. But all this craziness going on, and I didn't even realize it was Frank for a minute. So all of a sudden, this chaos happened. Let's watch it.
It used to be multicolored. It was rusting and stuff. We cleaned it up and we aluminum coated it, and we replaced some of the bad metal panels.
We've got it.
Mr. President, we just need to vote, move it, untable it, and then.
Yeah.
vote.
We already did that.
Watch this.
Just a preliminary resolution. If it's not, he comes back with a final resolution after. Should we just take a vote on it now?
Yes.
Unless there's more public comment.
I have a question. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a question, Mr. President. You say that you do have somebody lined up, and you have somebody who definitely is going to be using this.
I wouldn't say definitely. They were definitely for December, but we weren't able to meet that time frame. So
you don't know if you have a tenant yet?
We don't know if we have a tenant yet.
Okay. So you don't know if you'll have jobs yet at this point?
That's right. Well, if they don't rent the building, I'll probably use it myself until I can find a tenant.
I'll use my house.
So, in fact, that.
Until I find it.
And then they'll find.
With the neighborhood is so.
Anyone else from council?
Okay.
Let me see your paperwork.
Here we go.
Like I said, I'm a greenhorn, so I thought it was all. We pay him $30 an hour. So
Thank you.
Yeah, the first time you came to the council, it was very detailed.
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to come to the chair.
The first time you came to the council.
Did you hear
had all
there?
that-
Roe just spoke out of turn And then then Jerry's like, "Hey, you got to come to the chair." Watch what happens here.
We pay him $30 an hour, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first time you came to the council, it was very detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta come to the chair.
Miss Selby, you've got to come through the chair. So he's like, "Hey, you need to ask if you can talk." Like, I don't know why she doesn't. She's been on the council for like 3 years. Why does she not know this?
Yeah, the first time you came to the council, you had all that information.
Yes.
I'll have to dig in and find it. So,
Like I said,
Here it comes.
I'm a greenhorn, so I thought it was all approved. I was just waiting for the weather to break so we could start work.
But I had it written.
Anyone else from council? Anyone from the audience?
So
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I don't know what's going on with you guys right now. Because this is,
When he said this, I was like, "Who's talking? What is going on here?" This is really crazy because he's like, "I don't know what's going on with you guys." Watch
the
this.
tax abatement. Yes, bro, you know it has. This is, let me see your paperwork, Joe.
Is this is this like father and son? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Do we know what's happening here?
I think
Brian, do you know? Or are they just like boss and other and coworker? Or friends? All right, here it goes. Let's
It's a
Bunch
bruiser.
of bull crap is what it is. I'm not sure what you guys are doing. So
point of order.
this paper here,
Point of order, and this guy's like, "Yeah, screw it. I'm not doing point of order."
is where the check was made. And you guys see how long ago this is. All right. So first, Joshua Colby, the mayor,
And he's like saying like Josh Talby, and I'm like, "What? We're like in the wrong building." And then he just doesn't leave the desk.
Actually, I got with the mayor's assistant, gave her that check. They said it was going to the tax abatement.
Tax
With the tax abatement will grow. I talked to Josh McColby. Josh McColby isn't even on tax abatement. This has been a huge round circle thing circle dirt right here. It's this thing. You see this? This is ridiculous. No, I don't think you quite
Laura looks
understand
scared
what's
to
going
death.
on. Brandon knows too. He knows. I talked to him about it.
sir,
Some of you guys up there don't have a clue.
We've got, so we need to vote. We've been round and round with this. I don't remember.
All I'm looking at is a preliminary resolution.
Right. That's all I've got.
never came to the tax.
Tell me what the step is.
That's all I remember. And with the check, I understand you paid for the check.
Now, listen, all I gotta say is, listen. I like Frank. I don't have a problem with Frank. I've talked to Frank, and I can understand being frazzled. I get frazzled with these damn people all the time. I will never do anything like that. So they will, if they better never say anything to me, because I'm always going to throw up the Frank law. And the Frank law is, you guys didn't say shit to that dude. So you better not say shit to me, because all I got to do is get up and say some words. And that guy was, he was like yelling from the back room and everything. But I'm going to talk to him and find out what the hell's going on. What?
Nora looked scared to death when he
They all were freaked out. Didn't he? Yeah, like Sarah kept trying to get him to go back. Like, get back, get back. They didn't know what was going on. Ryan texted him and told him to calm down when it was happening. The bruiser rule. I'm gonna invoke the bruiser rule, and from now on, I'm good to go. No matter, I don't care about this House Bill 1338. I'm gonna say, oh, you didn't shut this bruiser down, so I am on it.
Check, but that's whoever you paid that check to is
Brandon, straight out of 1969 with his shirt.
not relaying to us. We just have the preliminary. It's a 3-step process, basically. We're going to adopt it. We're going to vote tax. Then it's going to go to tax abatement committee. We're going to approve it. And then we come back and vote on it again. We can get that done by next month, but we just have the preliminary on here. We have talked, Frankie.
Look at this guy.
So I don't know where that communication, I don't know where that fall came through.
That was
But
about
what
a-
we have right now is a preliminary one that we'll vote on.
No, I'm saying most of the, like, Roanoke,
Point of order, you want to come up to the podium, please?
It's,
I'll just wait till after the meeting, talk to all of you guys, that's fine.
What did he say? I can't hear it. Did he say, I'll just
He
wait
said,
till
I'll wait till
afterward?
after the meeting and talk to all you guys.
All right, which is fine, but the thing is, like, I wanted to hear it. It should have been on the record. So I got to tell him, no, from now on, come up and talk to all of them on the record. We want to know. I want to hear what was being said. Okay, what are they scared of? He's a big man, but there's a desk between them.
Hey, you
Jerry,
did
you should
that
have
big
started-
man fly over that desk at that judge's chamber that time a couple months ago?
What?
Them big guys can fly over them desks.
Yes, yeah, I
He
did
grabbed
see
that
that.
fucking judge up and just snapped her up.
Jerry should have instructed Dale to remove Frank under 1338. That would have been
Football up there.
hilarious.
Yeah. This football for
sorry.
Garrett. Sure.
I gotta say, I saw this happen, this made me then I kind of felt like this guy was like my grandpa, and I kind of felt sorry for him, and I just felt like probably what happens here is this dude is probably a pretty good boss. He probably runs a business very similar to how my dad did. Because that shit that he said sounded crazy to me. He's like, we barter. We'll go do a roof job for commercial roofing for $150,000. And maybe you don't have $150,000. So we'll take $30,000 in air conditioning. I was like, what? And so then your company, the Audie air conditioning company, makes me $30,000 worth of air conditioners, and I take them back to my shop, and then I do you a roof for $120,000. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And then let's see here. Ryan says, I never heard Dale speak a word tonight. John said, be glad there was no egg.
Jackie.
Acorns.
Jackie. That's the reason Brandon has started praising all these people, because Brandon told me he's going to be the president the last 3 years of council.
That's the thing. So Brandon Garrett just moved himself up to the council president role, dealing with Frank. And that's exactly it. It's just chaos in that room, man. That is absolutely amazing. Ryan says he runs several multi-million-dollar businesses. So see, the dude's no slouch. I think he's like, they're doing work all over the Midwest. So I don't think that this guy's an idiot by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no.
Okay.
If they've been talking to the council members off the books, talking to one here, talking to one over there, they may have thought it was a done deal. So he just showed up expecting to say, hey, I'm here to get my tax abatement.
Right.
And not anything else.
Hello? Oh, the door just opened on itself. That's weird. They do barter. That's how they donated the campaign signs to Troy, Andrew, my wife, and myself. Jesus. So, okay. All right. That's who did. Okay. Now it makes sense. See, I didn't know who this guy was or whatever. So that makes sense. And yes, Kate, that's exactly right. And with the council being such a state of flux, and with the fact that it's now March, and I think my mother said earlier, they have maybe he had emailed them and they just didn't get the email back and forth. That's kind of chaotic too. And I definitely want to play that. Were you there when the lady talked about the email, Audie?
Yes.
Okay, I thought maybe that happened after you. So that was.
Some people are more frustrated about the process than I am. Okay.
I like that guy. When he said that, I felt sorry for him.
Educating people.
I want to go on to this lady here.
We also held one at the Bilbrey.
This is amazing. I love this lady. I don't know who she is.
That is the link on my website. How can you help?
Her name's
Some
Taylor.
of you might want building committees.
What?
Her name was Taylor.
Together.
I love her.
Hopefully by August we will have a couple of homes started already on land that we already own. So we're very diligent about wanting to solve problems and work with y'all. Thank you so much.
What?
Misinformed. He has a roofing company. He's got, I think he said it was 5-star roofing or Advanced Roofing.
Good night, Charlize. What businesses does he run? Yeah, at least one roofing company.
Got Advanced Roofing, and it's like he said, it was in the Midwest, and he's got a place in Florida and does Georgia and Florida. It's a pretty big company, Advanced is.
Yeah. So then this woman comes up to the podium, and I love to hear what she had to say. It was good stuff. She called them straight out.
Okay. I just have a short comment. I'm just going to read to you all.
Chris.
That's very echoey. Sorry.
Chris, pause that real quick.
You're fine.
Did you notice they're not using timers tonight?
Yeah. I did. What's the deal with that?
I talked to Jerry at the last meeting, after the last meeting, and I told him that was bullshit the way you cut these people off, Jerry, that hardly ever come up there. I even said it at the podium, and then I said it out after the fact. And said, well, I'm gonna get with the council attorney and make sure it's okay. And they did away with
why do they keep saying that?
Because, like I said, he's been up there 16 years, and I thought he had more of a clue than what he's got.
More of a what?
More of a clue of what's going on than what he's got.
Dude. I like Jerry. I like Jerry as a person. I don't have a problem with Jerry. I do not have a problem with Jerry as a human being, as a man. I think he's a great person. I love talking to Jerry. But Jerry is I don't understand, man.
But that one guy, that Dick the Bruiser back there, he was right. That council has no clue what's happened in the last year.
Right.
And
that's always the problem.
They're going to throw their name in the hat and run for it, but yet they have no clue.
Very, very little about what goes on.
But the bad thing about it is people vote them in.
That's exactly right.
That's the last 5.5 years up there every fucking month.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I noticed no timer during the 10-minute Audie Barber speeches. Now, to be fair, those are not during those speeches. Correct. There've never been a timer. Correct. Those are before votes, and they've never timed those. The only thing they've ever timed is the public concerns. So that's how Audie gets in his 10-minute speeches.
That's it, right? Talk about it beforehand.
That one guy talked 30 minutes. All right, let's hear this woman here. She's great.
Can you hear me from right here?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So I have been a resident of the industry neighborhood for nearly 7 years and a resident of Muncie for almost a decade. For the past few years, since I've been attending the city council meetings, I've rarely missed one. I'm a senior in the Ball State Bachelor of Social Work program, for which I'm working with Urban Light Community Development and our local Habitat for Humanity. In partnership with multiple community members, Habitat recently hosted several community workshops where we surpassed our expected attendance at each one. Excuse me. The week prior to and the week of our workshops, I emailed each member of the city council at their emails listed on the city website, including the personal email of Mr. Dishman. Yet I was disappointed to not have heard back from a single one of you, several of whom I interact with at many other community events. As someone else mentioned, at the IDEA conference this weekend, I was even more disappointed when one of the city council members made a point to encourage citizens to contact all of you through their emails. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm anxious.
That's okay.
Yes, you're right.
To encourage citizens to contact you through the emails you have listed on the city website. In the future, I would just like to ask you all to get to know us community members so you know who's in the room with you when you make public comments such as those. And I also ask that you regularly check your emails and attend more community events that allow for in-depth dialogue with one another and that build bridges and foster relationships, just like the ones you all missed in February. Thank you.
Can I ask
sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I think we were both at one that she sent to us, actually. Yes.
Was that an event you held at Union?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we held one at Union. We also held one at the Bilbrey Center. We held one with the police department that was internal for them only.
Wait a minute. Wasn't the Bilbrey Center closed?
That one include
what?
Didn't they give Jerry hell about November saying the Bilbrey Center had been closed for years?
So is it not the Bilbrey Center? I'm confused.
Yeah,
I thought that too.
It's still called Bewley Center.
Okay.
They've given Jerry hell about it, and it's still called Bewley Center.
All right. Okay. So here's what. So now listen to this. This is great.
To concerned clergy, more police officers showed up from or to that event that had also participated in the previous days of events.
The reason I asked, I was at Union for that one.
I was
Okay.
also, that's what, yeah.
Well, I emailed you and I didn't receive a response and I didn't know that you were there.
This is
So I
great.
apologize for not seeing you there, but I just am encouraging you all to participate in that.
Understand.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know though.
Mr. President, ma'am. Ms. Faisal, Mr.
And here
Dishman
comes
knows, and
here comes Roe. And I listen. Don't be an elected official and give me an excuse of 3 months of bullshit. Now let's listen.
he's having that same problem with his email.
I
the
don't care.
Last month, I
I
have
don't
not
care.
been able to access any city email on my computer, iPad, and I think that's the problem with most of us. They did change our emails and they changed how they do things, and I can show you my iPad tomorrow. You can hit the
That's listen. I didn't bring my homework, but I can bring it to you tomorrow.
I can prove it.
Yeah, nobody cares, dude.
inbox. Nothing since December has shown up on my, so the council members are calling me and letting me know I had to take a picture of Mr. Gibson's email today because they changed our emails and it's not overlapping. So I apologize that most of us are having
It's called
difficulty
Gmail,
receiving
bitch.
emails.
Step on
Can I
up.
ask a question then?
Please do.
So you
Right.
said you've had this issue since basically the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
How long did it take for everybody to realize they were having this issue since it's been 2 full months?
I took my iPad to them and it
Okay.
worked for a day because I have to take off work because you have to physically bring your iPad
Oh,
to sit
help.
there with
You're
their
telling
IT
me
person
shit
because you have to put your,
I didn't ask.
and I went there and did it in January, I believe.
Okay.
It worked for a couple of days and I was just like, what's
So
the,
we're just gonna be like, all right, fuck it. We don't need email anymore, or like what? I don't
That's what she
understand.
does. That's
What?
what she does.
So set up a Gmail account that will work, that you can access anywhere,
Yeah.
and just change the email address. You don't have to use the city server, but you can
Right.
set one up. You could be a big girl and do it all by yourself.
Yeah. Right.
But listen, Rose said, she said, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen what she says here. She tried. Yeah. She tried to work it. I want to get her to say that. Here she goes. And let me go back here.
box? Nothing since December has shown up on my, so the council members are calling me and letting me know I had to take a picture of Mr.
I don't think this girl cares.
Gibson's email today because they changed our emails and it's not overlapping. So I apologize that most of us are having difficulty receiving emails.
yeah.
Can I ask a question then?
Please do.
So you said you've had this issue since basically the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
How long did it take for everybody to realize they were having this issue since it's been 2 full months?
I took my iPad to them and it
Okay.
worked for a day because I have to take off work because you have to physically bring your iPad
For
and
tech
sit
help.
there with their IT person because you have to put your, and I went there and did it in January, I believe. It worked for a couple of days and I was just like, what's, and it didn't.
Do you all receive daily emails regarding your position on the city council?
We should, some of us do, yes.
So that every day someone should be, if they're noticing they're not getting emails, they should.
What I hear about that is, you mean so you've been missing emails from the entire city for the last 4 months, and it's like, who gives a shit?
Right.
You're like, what is going on? That's nuts.
Should be following up with the tech.
But when do they get their
assistants.
packets?
Yeah, on email.
They send them by, so if the email's not working, then they're getting them that night.
That's correct. They pick
And
them.
they explain why the meetings are a clusterfuck.
That is correct, because Mr. Mason says that he's got to pick his laptop up tonight in his mailbox.
Now, I will tell you, like, there's all sorts of chaos with this, because I want to show you guys something that I have. I want to show you guys something here. So there is a Let me find this here. Ooh, did I not send it? I thought I did. Hold on, let me see. I know that it's on here. I was just okay. Let me right here. We go. Load. Damn it.
Load. Damn
I
it.
was talking with a couple folks today. Oh, let's see here. Oh yeah, right here. Look. I sent this today 8 hours ago. I sent this, and this email says, or this thing says, hey, Michelle Owen, is the City of Muncie's website down? I'm not being able to access it. And I talked to 2 other people that were also unable to access the city's website today. So I will give the council a little bit of room. Something's going on. The administration needs to fix it. But if the council is having questions and issues with their email and it's not working, they need to be up the city's ass every day. And after 4 months, if they're not doing it, they need to do what Kate said. They need to go to Google and they need to set up Muncie City Councilor District 2 at gmail.com and give that out to people, because they can't just stop doing business and say, oh, well, they just cannot do that.
And Jerry Dishman, he's got it on his business card that says he's, city councilman and everything, and uses Gmail account. But then he sits up there and says, oh, I'll get a bunch of spam mail in that. And I don't even check my mails.
Listen to me. He's told me on 2 different occasions that he has not received my emails. I email 100 people a day, and I have never had anyone say email is not something. 1 in 10,000 emails don't go through. And I've happened to had 2 emails not go through with Jerry, and this woman had an email not go through.
I do appreciate you letting me know that you're
That's
paying
what happens
attention.
here.
For sure is having the same problem.
And another,
With your personal email as well, that's stated on the
My
website.
personal-
No,
and another thing, Chris.
Yeah.
Doesn't school let out at like 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock for Muncie
Don't
Central?
they? Uh-huh.
Isn't IT open till 4 o'clock?
Yep. And let me tell you, I've talked to
the city council. Step down.
I've talked to Miss Selvey when she's been getting out of school, and she's been out of school in plenty enough time to go and be like, hey, what's happening?
City council.
No, Dishman, I believe, is the person that also has their Gmail account connected. So did you receive my email on your personal account?
I sure didn't see it.
Okay. Well, maybe go back and check. It's from a habit.
Any spam calling and stuff on my phone too.
Okay. The email address I sent it from is a munciehabitat.org email. So it's pretty official.
I would check.
I appreciate that.
Liz, I apologize to you.
It's okay. Thank you.
But I'm having the same problem. I should have a new one in my mailbox.
Yeah, he ordered it.
Listen to what she says here.
Oh yeah, you guys did your selection of new tablets that you didn't have to have the ordinance for, but you were all prepared. I forgot.
I don't know that woman will ever hear this, but congratulations to her. I'm going to make that a short, her doing that. I love her, and please, I what did you say her name was?
Taylor's her first name.
Taylor, if you happen to hear this or see this or someone shows this to you, please reach out and get a hold of me. I would love to just talk to you. We don't ever have to say anything about it publicly, but I would just like to tell you what a great job you did there.
That's one of those cases that she told them off and they didn't even realize they was getting told off.
Absolutely. Well, and then they kept saying other crap to her, and she just kept coming back with more receipts. And they're like, we've all got problems. And she's like, with your personal emails too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just cannot believe it. It was amazing.
Like
what?
That's like the rule in Roadhouse. I've seen somebody sent me today. 3 rules in Roadhouse. Don't start a fight. Don't fight inside the bar unless it's absolutely have to, and be nice. And she was very nice to them.
Yes. Yeah. She was great. Absolutely wonderful. The only other thing I want to say just quickly about the city council meeting is we did talk a little bit about the fire thing, and they're pushing through this ordeal for the money on this bond for this thing. I just want to let everybody know, when they pushed this through and they said, oh, this is going to be really slow, we're not talking about money and no one's getting money. Well, now we're already here. Now we're already back here, and they're doing this crap, and they're pushing this through. So,
and Jerry said there was going to be another meeting this month, so we'll see.
This month.
Well, yeah, because it was brought up as introduction tonight. So next month is.
Yeah, well, we'll be waiting for that. We'll be waiting, and I will be there. Oh, look, Dick the Bruiser has entered the chat. I totally was tired of the lies and BS. I talked to every one of the members except Nora. Audie, you yourself knew as well. I spoke to you about it and at the dim tent at the fair. Oh, shit, that far back.
Yes.
All right, Frank. So tomorrow, if you're around and if you got time, I would love to talk to you, because I'm going to tell you. So I remember I did not know this was your company. So when this kept getting brought up, I was like, why is this guy not showing up? What's going on here? And then I remember a couple meetings ago, not Nora, but Rose, like, can I go talk to these people? And then nothing else happened. Well, then today when he stood up, I was like, what is going on with this guy? Why? This seems like so kind of crazy. And he seemed like kind of like he didn't know what was going on. But the council, I will admit, the council's completely off their rockers. They have no clue what's going on, and they are chaotic. And then when you stood up, I know. I mean, your company as in you work there. I know, I get it. I know it's not your company. I mean, your company as in you work there. That's what I mean. And when you stood up, I didn't know it was you. And I'm like, oh God, this guy's like going crazy. And then I realized it was you. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, then when we were just sitting here talking tonight on this live, it's when Webb told me like what the deal was. So this is crazy, but I would like to talk to you. I'll give you a call tomorrow, or call me tomorrow. I'd like to talk to you about this. This would be interesting to find out exactly what all's gone on here.
And Frank, I need you to do me a favor. At one time, that was county property. That was considered.
Oh yeah.
You need to make sure that the city annexed property, because that may be county property still. I'm not saying it is 100%. I don't know.
I'll look and see. I would like to know if they did annex it. When did they annex it? Because at one point that was, Audie is right. At one point that was.
Frank, when that was Marhofer's, they did not allow pigs in the city of Muncie and did not allow slaughterhouses. So at one time that was Delaware County and not the city of Muncie.
Yeah.
So if that ever got changed,
that would be hilarious. That would be absolutely freaking hilarious.
What if it was still in the county?
If it's like still county, nobody knew, and the city's like trying to annex something they have no access to. I'm not saying it is. Maybe they did it. I'm just saying I know that at one point it was. I agree with you. And then to not know now, maybe they did. Right, they changed it and the address. Okay.
Okay.
So if you know that for a fact, then that's good. Yeah, I'll get a hold of you tomorrow because I'd like to talk to you about all of this and see what's going on.
Frank, if you have any questions, you probably still have my phone number. Give me a holler. I'll do what I can to help you. But I know you've been getting a run around and stuff, but it's in the right process. What you need to do is make sure that somebody attends that tax abatement meeting. And make sure that you follow the procedures, because if not, they'll table it again. And make sure that you guys have somebody at the next council meeting after you've been to the tax abatement and push it through to try to get your tax abatement.
Right. That's just what a crazy ass. I'm sorry that they've been getting all that runaround. It's insane.
And I do remember them tabling it because nobody was there. Because
right, that did happen. That did happen, but then after that, Roe was like, "Can I talk to him?" And who knows if they did or not.
Yep. Because the reason I remember the name is because Bob and Tom have a skit called Joe Jackson Memory Service, and and then it goes to Joe Jackson and Jeremy Johnson, and
yeah, oh yeah.
I've got starts out as Joe Jackson. That's how I remember that.
Oh yeah, the band that I was in, Uncle Sally. We've got a song called Joe Jackson, and
then you got
I heard
Jackson. So that's that's pretty.
Yeah. When I heard his name tonight, I was like, all right, Joe Jackson. We had a song. We had a song called Joe Jackson. What was the Audie? Did you know what the price was on the bond?
8.7 million.
Yeah, I don't think that's changed. I think it's 8.7, 8.9.
Folks, I didn't get to bring it up tonight, but I did mention that GM Developers is just a single person by himself doing this work, subs everything out. But he told us at the meeting that it was not going to be more than 1.4% or whatever it was, that he was going to make off of it. Now it's up to 6%, by the way, if anybody had caught that one.
Wah, wah. Yeah, we need to have another one of those meetings.
Figure it up. 8.7 million at 6%.
Who's the president?
Dollars to me.
Yeah. Who's the president of that?
I don't know. They never told me.
They didn't tell you?
They didn't say. And
I know that. Oh crap! I know that Nora posted it a while back. I don't know if I still have it. I probably don't. I know that Nora posted it, and I posted it on my wall. Do you know what the name of that committee is?
No, I don't. I can't remember it right offhand.
January.
And one more before I get off here. I'm getting early. I get up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you're fine.
Third and final time I brought up about the solar farm.
Yes.
If they don't do something with that, they're going to have solar panels all through this whole city.
Yes.
And I'm not against solar panels. Put it where it's been 8.7 million, Rhonda, for quite a while. 6.8. I don't know. I don't know where that number come from, but
wait. Nora refused to talk to me and slammed her door in my face after the meeting. Wow. Wow. That's interesting.
Wow. Well, they're probably going to get it passed next month, so we'll see.
Interesting. Well, okay, Audie, are you heading out?
I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night. I'm going to try to get some rest tonight and
get some sleep.
Unwind before I go to sleep and get a shower or whatever. I need to shave. I know. Chris, you need that haircut still.
I know. I'm going to work on it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Audie.
Love you all night.
Yep. See you. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Audie. That was the city council. Listen, if we've got a couple more, we're gonna go through them real quickly here. We're right at an hour and 9 minutes. We will be out of here before an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna hurry up with this real quickly. I just want to go through this Delaware County Commissioners meeting and hit a couple high points. We'll probably have to do the state of the city tomorrow. Really briefly, I just want to say, if you're interested, going back and listening to this entire talk on the fire department is probably worth listening to. You can find it. We live streamed this, so you should be able to catch this on my channel. You can also catch it on the cities if the city shit's working, but you should probably go back and listen to it, because it's a pretty good discussion to listen to what's going on, and it's going to be a big deal. Audie is right. Jerry did say tonight that we would be having another meeting, so I'll be interested to see what goes on with that. And we'll be live streaming that if they have another one, because they didn't live stream it last time, and I won't get caught in that trap again. All right, moving on here briefly to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting from this morning, ladies and gentlemen. The meeting was held at 9 a.m.
Here, Mr. Brook. Here. First, we'll start off with appointments. We have one for the Health Department Board. We have Dr. Grasso, and I think we're just reappointing.
You were reappointing, yeah.
Reappointing Dr. Grasso is what it is.
Mr. Henry? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. King? Yes. We did also have one on there for the Visitors Bureau, but Sherry, doesn't believe we have
Yeah, I'd
a
like to
spot,
table
so we're
that.
gonna table it.
Please.
You want a motion? You want me to make a motion? No, we'll just remove it. Probably won't even table it. We'll just remove it off here for now. Next, we have tabled business resolution 2024-001, a resolution of the Delaware County.
Have they not talked about the minutes yet?
Appointments. We have Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It is Monday, March 4th, 2024. The time is 9:01. If everybody could please stand for the pledge. Mr. Henry. Here. Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King. Here. Mr. Brook. Here. First, we'll start off with appointments. We have one for the Health Department Board, here for the Visitors Bureau, County, Indiana Board of Commissioners concerning real estate by the county. John, we're going to address that next meeting, correct?
Well, the resolution starts the process, and then there's a public hearing that would have to occur before you could actually transfer the property. I've gotten a copy of the survey. The survey shows that the entrances and the sign are on the property of the county, have been for a long, long time. And so this is a resolution to start the process to transfer the real estate, if that's the desire, after the next meeting. So you have to adopt this resolution, which then triggers the purpose of the public hearing and that sort of thing. So
I'll make a motion. We remove the resolution from the table.
Second.
Have a motion is second. Ed, could you call the roll, please? Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. Henry? Yes. Mr. King? Yes. Do you want to wait and approve it, or you want to? We'll go ahead and approve it now. I'll make a motion. We approve resolution 2024-001.
Second.
Have a motion is second. Ed, can you call the roll, please? Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. Henry? Yes.
You listen to what's going on right here.
and I will get the notice published for the public hearing.
Okay. Since we have not received the February 5th
Here we go.
minutes, I'd like to leave those tabled at this time and move on to the interlocal agreement for Hamilton Township.
Yes, this is an interlocal agreement that I put together. Basically, it's amending the prior agreement using a lot of the same terms. And there were some items that were renegotiated and discussed between Hamilton Township, Shannon Henry, and Mike Ashley. And so based on those notes and those records, I've put together an amended agreement.
What?
For the use of the Hamilton Township Fire Department offices out there off of Wheeling, I think it is.
And this is where we're gonna put an ambulance back into Hamilton Township.
That's correct. It'll be on a part-time basis. We don't have, enough staffing for this every single day, 24.
Ed, can you call the roll?
Sorry that they're going to have to be held off, but it's just part of government.
Oh, okay, right here.
That's from the February 20th meeting. I'd like to. Mr. Henry? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. King? Yes. Next, we'll move to approval of minutes. Once again, I don't believe anybody's received the minutes from the February 20th meeting. I'd like to go ahead and table that also.
I'd like to add that Treasurer or Auditor Carroll explained that there was a crash of some functioning somewhere, and we are sorry that they're going to have to be held off, but it's just part of government.
We're sorry. The auditor, we've had a crash and we can't get out the minutes. Let me tell you something, folks. The auditors had a crash and they can't get anything done. They can't get the employees money right, meaning they have not taken taxes out on some of these employees for the entire year of 2023. It's costing people money now. It's gross and it's incompetent. They're not being able to deal with the public. You've got the auditor, who is also the Republican Party chairman. He is doing party business during the day when he's supposed to be on the clock. He is avoiding talking to department heads. He is avoiding talking to the public. And let me be very clear. They didn't have some kind of crash. Well, look, maybe they did. The reason that they're having an issue here is because Ed is getting rid of everybody in the office that has any experience. He's making a hostile work environment. He's bringing in Charlie Richmond to run people off. He's being the heavy, so Ed can just sit back and go, Ed's worthless. That office is worthless because they have ran everybody out. Okay? I want you guys to listen to this. This is very, very crazy here on what's happening. This is very important for people to understand what's going on here. All right. I want to get back to this and let you guys hear what's actually happening. Okay. And this is very important that the audience knows what's happening here. Okay. Let me find out which one this is. Let me find out which one this is, because I want to tell you the right information. Okay. And I can tell you right here. Give me just 1 second. We're just about back to it. Okay. Right here. Okay. Yep. All right. I found it. And let me just click on it here. So essentially what this is Counselor Ryan Webb did a video back some time ago. And on that video, an employee that used to work in the auditor's office responded and said, I'm going to tell you what the issue is here, okay? And it's right here. Let me find out where it's at. I want to tell you. Which one this is. Just saw it on the phone. Scrolling back. Give me 1 second. Okay, right here. I want you to listen to this. This is it. Julie Castor, Heather Rudick, Lori Tucker, Linda Wright, Donna Patterson, Beth Neff, and Denise Smith. Julie Castor, Heather Rudick, Lori Tucker, Linda Wright, Donna Patterson, Beth Neff, and Denise Smith. 7 people that have all left the auditor's office having at least 5 years, but many of them having decades of experience. They've all left that office because of having issues with the auditor, Ed Carroll. And they didn't want to go elsewhere in the county building because he touches everywhere in the county building. So they left. They retired from government work. And this has all taken place in the last half of 2023 into the early part of 2024. Well, why? Why did these people leave from the last half of 2023 into the early part of 2024? Because 2023 was Ed's first year in the auditor's office. His first year, he lost half of his experienced staff. None of them would have left if things would have been better to work there, if the environment would have been better. Lori Jesse also left. That's an 8th person after having only worked there for a few months. Not sure what it's all about. She only worked there for a few months, but that has to call into question what's happening. And this is someone that worked in the office writing this. Folks, We've got people out here like Mike Jones that are saying, oh, it's just Bilbrey and Webb just trying to scare people. It's them. They're trying to scare people. Oh, no, folks. Listen to me. This is a post that is made on social media. You can see it right here. I didn't invent this. Beth Neff, she's the one that wrote it. Beth Neff worked in the office. She left. She knows. Denise Smith said, I second that motion. Denise Smith, she worked in the office. She recently left. Let me tell you who Denise Smith was. Denise Smith, the auditor, is the secretary of the commissioners and the secretary of the council. Ed and Denise would always go to the meetings. Denise would take the minutes. She's not there to do the minutes anymore. Now the minutes aren't getting done. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Don't tell me about some kind of system broken down. That's bullshit. The system that's broken down is the department head, Ed. Ed is broken down. That's the problem. We need to get Ed out of there. This is really the only crazy nonsense that they're talking about doing.
Christopher, did we lose you?
No, why?
Okay. You were just like not moving and not talking.
No, sorry. I'm trying to get this over here to where we need to be.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking. Anybody know a good locksmith?
So yeah, I'm Andrew Eller. I'm president of the 4-H Council here in Delaware County.
Yeah, that's not the one.
And so,
you know, the 4-H now. Jan Smoot, Delaware County Recorder.
All right, here we go.
Charlie Richmond, Auditor's Office.
Oh, my name is Peter Allison with Fiddler Technologies.
Listen to this nonsense.
And we're just to follow up on our presentation from earlier in February about
Okay.
our SCAN project.
Yeah, we can go ahead and give Greg a call.
Come on.
With the right care and respect. There's scanning options to be done on site, both 12 to 24-hour shifts, and any variation that you're looking for in between there. All the workers will be on site. We can provide all of the background information that you would need for anyone to have access to your offices or access to these documents to make sure that you are aware of everyone that is involved. And most importantly, they are an approved company that works with the Indiana Archives and Records Administration, so they are familiar with the retention timelines of these documents, how these documents have to be handled, how they need to be grouped and indexed. What's very important to us when we do these scan projects, if we were to scan 10,000 images, put them on a flash drive and not have them grouped and indexed by the ways that they would accurately be searched, they're not very useful documents. So we are actually very understanding of what these documents entail so that they can be searched accurately. And just for reference, the auditor's office in Porter County and Howard County and the recorder's offices in Madison County, Porter County, and St. Joseph's counties have utilized our services in conjunction with U.S. Imaging for indexing and scan projects, as well as utilizing our search tools for that for some local references that have done very similar work.
I'm just giving you a taste of what this guy's talking
The
about.
total estimate for this scan project would be $220,369.86. This was based off of a 12-hour scanning shift. Again, these can be edited if we choose to do these two scan projects concurrently and do a 24-hour shift. It would just be more efficient time. We bring in scan teams. So if we were to do 24-hour access or 16-hour access, we could have two teams going within one day. The big overhead cost of that is going to be these scanners that are coming here, staying in a hotel. The longer access we have to the documents, we're able to be more efficient with that scan time. Again, we are going to have a partner relationship manager. That is somebody who works with Fiddler and specifically works with these county offices. So if this project is to move forward, it will be a specific person from our company that will work hand in hand, identifying how you search these documents, how they need to be grouped and indexed to make sure that these are usable by both your office and the public. These are things that we'll be doing ahead of time. There's no additional cost for that service to make sure that we're getting these used in a way that you would like. And for the recorder's office, there is no additional software or any other annual maintenance that would be needed to add it outside of this number. We already work with that office, so everything is already covered and under contract, and all of these scanned images would be able to go right into the current recorder's system. Before I move to the auditor's side of this project, are there any questions on the recorder's side that I can cover? No. Perfect.
Now they move it.
With the auditor's office scan project, the total estimate for this project would be $299,332.60. This is again based on a 24-hour scanning shift, which would have 2 scanning teams here on site. And again, this can be combined, with the reporter's scan team project as well. Again, trying to be as efficient as possible for getting the team out here and any of the resources needed to do the on-site scanning. Once again, we're going to work specifically with the auditor's office. Auditor's documents and recorder's documents, while they are searched very similarly by the same people, this is a great way to make sure that we are uploading these and all of them are grouped and
all right, I'm going to pause here and just let you know. So basically what this guy's trying to do, this guy and his team are going to come into the auditor's office and they are going to scan every document in the auditor's office and in the recorder's office from now all the way back through history to Delaware County's first days. Any of the documents, our historical documents and everything, but not for the sheriff's department, not for the prosecutor's office, just for the auditor, just for the recorder, and it's going to cost us total $500,000.
They would do better to rent the scanner that they need, because the books are big, so it's a different size scanner, and hire an employee, and that's your only job.
They would never get done. It would never get done. They would never get done.
Because they grab them and make them do other shit.
Because they would, and they would work county hours, and they would never get done. I'm not opposed to something happening. Let me tell you what they're talking about doing here. They're talking about how would we ever make the money back from this? Well, what they then want to do is they said, well, we make the money back. Well, let you hear it from Ed himself.
By auditors.
How did they find all this money? Yeah, any scenarios?
Some of it has been through ARPA. Some of it has been through an understanding of very similar to a situation like this. That whether it has been their office, an office nearby, it is the understanding that many of these documents are not backed up in any capacity.
Yes.
You can look at the negatives of that in several ways. One, from a historical standpoint, these are historic documents that are part of your history that you want to make sure are preserved. But additionally, they are taking up physical space.
Hey, timing issues. I see you.
For you in a convenient manner now. So that is how people have looked at these for the scam projects. I wish I could say I had a perfect $300,000 answer that everybody found. I haven't found that one yet myself either. But most of it has been a proactive
and 2 15-minute breaks, David.
Water pipe to break or that.
That's not Ed. That's worse than Ed. It's Charlie Richmond.
Thank you.
So moving forward, Bastion is our remote storage and security. We already work with.
Let me get up to the point where Ed's talking.
No, thank you.
To work with us to get this
accomplished. Or we might hear from Charlie.
Office, and so then we would, of course, have to come back about the ordinance, about the things, about the fee schedules that are done, for the portion for the auditor's office, and then Jan would still be the focal point for all of that, and then the different funds would have to be split between the offices, and that would be done by the Laredo system. I think that this is a worthwhile project because I think Commissioner Riggin knows how much those plat room books weigh. They probably weigh more than you do.
but they,
God, this
you know, if
guy,
we had any
I'm
kind
so
of,
sick of the same people. Is this guy
structure
still
fire or
alive?
anything else, those books would be.
He
they'd be
scares
gone,
me.
And you got history that's back in there to the 1800s and things. And so, I think this is a worthwhile project, and those books could be moved to storage with the Muncie Public Library, like the recorder's books have been done, so that they would be archived and protected. So I hope that we have a favorable response from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Kathy, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Did you guys search for any of those documents or use any of that kind of stuff in the other counties?
Yes, yes, we would go back and, any kind of a railroad, cemetery, church, anything that could be owned by the commissioners, we go all the way back in history, so yes.
You use a system like that currently?
Electronically, no.
Yeah, okay.
We do have one in Madison County that was done, and it was done in-house.
This would use the service, I guess is what, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Documents and transfer books, including the commissioner's minutes going back and
all right,
being offset. And
here
to it, or who
listen
owns
to this.
would mean that we would be on for it.
So you think your office would use the service, I guess is what, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you think you would use
if the
that
books
service?
are not available, we would have to use the service. So
Well,
yes.
yeah, right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I was just going to add, Greg Sullivan, our rep that represents the recorder's office, and Ella, and Ed, came up to our office the other day, and they brought a couple of plat books. Because I don't know what they do in just like they probably don't know what we do with our books. And I think it will be very user-friendly. Ed, do you agree?
yeah,
There'll be a
so we did have a
learning
meeting,
curve.
and I got Ellen involved because she's the one who used those books if anyone in our office used them.
Now, here is the great Ed Carroll's voice. I've got to tell you, this is the very first time in my entire life that I have ever heard Ed speak. What?
You were frozen for a second there.
Oh, this is the very first time in my life that I have ever heard Ed Carroll speak. So this is really crazy to me. Let's listen to what the quiet one has to say.
And I asked her to go through, because there's a couple different styles of books, but essentially the way she searches for any transfers, they've got searches built within their product, so she can search by address, by person. There's different ways of searching, and she found it very user-friendly to be able to do that. So we would have that available to all the employees within the county that we use at no charge, but for the public and companies, there would be a user fee. And we're looking at this thing from a annual cost being offset and paid for by the user fees that are currently generated. So going forward, there should be no additional cost.
Just the initial.
And
we also had the state archives come in and sit down with us to make sure that, one, we could do this, but two, what options do we have for all those documents and transfer books, including the commissioner's minutes going back in 160 some years ago, back before the Civil War even. So we got all those downstairs, and the state that's actually looking at taking some of those to the state archives because they're so old and they want to preserve them. So that is an option for us to pursue if we want to free up that space. So it'll still be available to the public, to the archives, the originals also electronically.
And Greg was able to log into another county that has done this, and so it literally was like looking at those transfer books right there on the screen and being able to go from one, to going backwards, like Kathy talked about, them working backwards. So I think would be very beneficial. And talking about the history aspect, when I first started in the recorder's office, excuse me, we had a book scanner that we were scanning some index books in and some images. And I was never a real history buff in high school, but it was so awesome to see that image of that deed where somebody got their land for the first time from the United States government, signed by the president at the time. I just thought, how awesome, like just how neat is that?
Jesus. Okay, yeah, real neat. They want Delaware County citizens to pay $50 a month for this. Now, I don't generally ever. I'm never going to use this. I would say out of all of the records that I request from Delaware County, probably less than a third of those records would come from the auditor's office. But anything that I would ever request, I would never pay $50 a month and use this. What I would do is I would submit my record request through the legal channels to the attorney. He would then contact the auditor. They would look this up themselves. They could use their fancy little system. They could then get my records to the attorney, and I'll pay 10 cents a copy for them. I would never, ever, like, it would be kind of cool to be able to go to my computer and look it up instantly, but I'll wait a week. I'm fine with that. I'll wait 2 weeks and we can just do what we've always done. So this is ignorant. I cannot believe that they would be thinking about doing this. And now, to their credit, they tabled it because they got to look at it. So I'm just letting you know, they are talking about paying this with APRA money. That's what they're talking about. Yes, John, he let them know that other counties have paid out of APRA. And so just so everyone's familiar with what's happening here, the recorder's office, the woman that was talking, Jan Smoot, she is said that from their budget, they can pay about $200 and like $25,000 or whatever. I forget exactly what's going to happen there, but what they would in fact actually need would be about $330,000 out of APRA money. With this historical records, how many people want historical records? Is this a common request? I think it would probably be common, but not as common as what they're alleging that they're going to be able to make the money back on. I mean, you know, let's say you have 100 people a year, and you probably don't. Let's say you have 100 people a year. You probably don't. It's probably more like 25 or 10 or 5 or 50, but you're never going to, you know, you would need 10,000 users at $50 a month to make up for this. And that's never, ever, ever going to happen. You're never going to have 10,000 people paying $50 a month for this. That's absolutely insane. People hunting this stuff down for genealogy. So, you know, you might, let's just say you had 100, all right? 100 people. But those 100 people looking for that stuff, those 100 people aren't going to be, that's $5,000 if they all paid $50 a month. Maybe you pay it for 1 month and then say, all right, I don't want it anymore. Okay.
And a lot of people hunting genealogy stuff down will go into a place so they can manually inspect the records, because a lot of times you'll find stuff that you didn't even know was there that's for your family.
Yeah.
And so they want that hands-on, and it's free to look at them.
Yeah, well, unless they scan it and they're no longer here and they send it off to the Muncie library or send it down to the state.
Well, then you go to the state or you go to the Muncie library.
Yeah. You're not going to be
people drive all over the country hunting down genealogy, and those are going to be your historic records requests.
That's right. Yeah, that's 100% right. That's 100% right. So, once they find out how incompetent Ed Carroll is, they'll probably start getting lots of requests. Maybe that'll be the FBI. So, I just want to let you know this is something that Delaware County is looking at doing. They do table this request, and so it's not something that, you know, that they push through today, thank God.
Of entering into our system, each department, but no guidelines or, and really it comes down to guidelines or procedures.
Well, he's really cool.
So as we continue to upgrade into newer platforms,
I'm gonna get me some glasses like that. They're coming up.
What we've found is that we just keep putting the old, as they say, crap in and crap out. But
the old crap in and crap out,
County General Fund,
as they say.
What it would do to some of our TIF areas. And so this is the additional analysis the county needs, as well as the county council needs for planning for the future.
Because of the reduction of funding and
Right.
We'll go into the
show that I had nothing to do with this.
Sold to the farmer on the east, which is the Reagan and Sons. And their intention now is to sell the house. It would have been 2 acres, but the piece that we had for the road dedication of Walnut.
It's a great place to go and learn about what's happening out in the county. And it's Tuesday and Wednesday. And
so there's that. You can watch the rest of that if you want. That is on the Delaware County YouTube page. So that is there. So you can watch that. There is some other interesting things there that you might want to see, but you can get that. But that was the big thing. The fact that we're now talking about spending $500,000 as a county, but we're going to need $300 and some thousand out of APRA. There's so many things that are similar. Record request is ARPA. APRA is the ARP is the money from the COVID money. APRA request is the record request. I always keep getting those things mixed up. But they want $300,000 from that. So I think that's absolutely insane. The very last thing that I want to talk about real quick, and we're going to have to go further in detail with this later. I'm not going to be able to get into it now. And I'm so mad because I wanted to. But it's the City of Muncie 2024 State of the City. The mayor of Muncie gave this State of the City, and Mark DeFabio introduced Mr. Surprise. You can see it in his eyes. Scott Alexander, our state senator. And then he spoke for a while, and he introduced the man of the hour, Dan Ridenhour. And he got up.
Where did they have this, Christopher?
This was at the Cornerstone Center for the Arts, which is the old Masonic temple in Muncie.
Did they pay to rent it?
I'm certain. I'm sure we did.
Why are we paying to rent buildings? The city doesn't have any place that the mayor can give a speech?
Well, yeah, we can do it in the they do a big breakfast and make a big deal out of it. I mean, it's
fine, but do you need to rent a building to do that?
Yeah, I don't really think you can have a breakfast at I don't think that you can have a breakfast at the city building. I don't know why you need to have a breakfast to do this. This is like some kind of
I'd be interested to know how much it cost for the mayor to give a speech. Between the breakfast and renting a building.
Yeah. I would be interested to know that. How much did this nonsense cost? I mean, look at it here. You get to see this. It's a really cool room. This is the Muncie. This is all the who's who of Muncie. Let's see if we can see real quickly here. Yeah, I see Dale Basham. I see Dan Ridenhour. I see Sherry Ridenhour. I see Snidely Whiplash here, which is Dustin Clark. I'm gonna have to look at this picture in closer detail, but I will tell you. Oh, they've got a band playing. You see the band playing in the back? That's fancy. Wow. Oh, Shireen's here. Oh, you bet Shireen's here. She's here. Here's Nora standing up. I can see the back of her head there. Here's Alan Wisely. Here's Brad Polk. That's funny. This looks like the Piper team wearing yellow. So yeah, I'm gonna go through this. We don't have time to do it now. Please, yeah, we need to know how much this shindig costs. I will look up the did they pay Alexander for his time? I will look up the cost. I'll find out how much this cost. and we'll look into that, and we'll go through this in the first 30 minutes tomorrow. So you guys look forward to that. I will change the description again, which I really hate doing, but I will do that. You guys, thank you for hanging tight with us. It's been a very long show. It's been a very long evening, considering we had 3 hours of Muncie City Council meeting. Thank you for that. I'm sorry that this lasted until midnight. That's effing ridiculous. You guys have a great night. See you back here at 9 p.m. tomorrow. We will go through that. And I do have to say, I love the comment that said, who wants to pay to look back at corruption throughout history? I can just watch it happen live. Great comment. You guys have a good evening. Have a great Tuesday. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. God bless. Take care. Good night. Bye.